TIFU by getting a new job and doing it in 1/7 time of the last person. TIFU by getting a new job and being stupidly efficient in it. TLDR below, but basically I got a job 3 months ago and I've been as most new personnel would trying my best. I suppose this fuck up happened a few months ago, but I only just realized when it was raised at a staff meeting that the team pay was far lower than usual. So it's just come to my attention that I'm keeping up with all of the tasks within 7 working hours a week. The last person who held this job for 4 years worked 35 hours a week to get it all done. That's over 4x more efficient. I'm getting paid by the hour and could have easily claimed I needed 38 hours a week to get shit done. However, they've already seen it can be done in 8. I just lost myself at least $3,000 a month in paid Reddit scrolling time. I fucked maths up but can't change the title, should say 1/5. TLDR, got shit done efficiently, shot myself in the foot. This reminds me of the TIFU where a guy was being hired to fix IT problems for a company, and fixed them during his interview to prove he could do it, so they didn't hire him because the job was done. If I was your boss, I'd convert you to salaried so I wouldn't be at risk of losing you, and then I'd set you loose to see what else you can improve. I love that kind of shit. What you need to do is fuck things up for a week and then say it wasn't as easy as you first thought and take a week to fix it. Rinse, repeat. I did this with a metal shear. They gave me a list of sizes to cut. I went back to him with a couple hours left in the day. I asked what was next. He got a little rude and said something like, "I appreciate your initiative, but you need to focus on your work, not what you're doing next." I said I finished. He said that was a week's worth of work. LOL. This is what pisses me off about working by the hour. The better you are at your job, the less valuable you are. If the company wants a job done, they should pay for the job, not the hours it takes to do the job. Your good work will be rewarded with more good work. I used to do the work of 3 people. Then I couldn't get promoted because they would have had to hire 3 people to replace me. Reminds me of the guy who had automated his entire data entry job. He was supposed to be working all night doing data entry from home. But his script handled everything, so he just sat and played video games and kept an eye on it. He was really well paid, his employer was super happy with the volume of work he was getting done, and they wanted him to train his peers. In reality, there is no human way to do the entry as fast as his program was performing. Not sure what happened to him. Reddit history, I guess. I was hired into a large financial services company to take care of their Macs because the guy couldn't keep up. I rebuilt all 20 Macs in the course of a couple weeks, and the tickets went from 20 a week to 2 per month. This is in 2000-2001. So they hired me for desktop support. Windows NT 4. ID never touched it. 1 year later I was desktop support manager. Then PM for NT to AD migration. 22 years later I'm the ISO for all technology globally. Make the best of it. They need to pay for your expertise, not the time it takes. Hardball, negotiate for the same pay as the last person who held the job or tell them you're leaving. Value yourself. Nah, this is your chance, man. You need to ask for more pay. If they don't give it to you, fucking move on. You could maybe ask for a raise. If you're that much faster and get that much more work done, which can be proven, it shouldn't be unreasonable to get a raise. You could also look for the same position in other companies and communicate with them with their pay. Unfortunately, being a good worker usually means you're doing other people's work eventually. Do what you need to do, in the time allotted, and don't go above and beyond what you're being paid to do. Hard work is rewarded with more hard work. My brother did this too. Working for the city emptying trash cans at parks on walking trails. I want to say his route was 9. A whopping 9 cans, or something stupid. I know drive time is involved, but he was done by noon when it took the other guys all day. He asked what's next. They said, "You're done already? Dude, this is supposed to take all day, slow it down." He said, "But it wasn't hard, what's next?" That's pretty much every city worker for you. He now drives the trash truck. The fuck up was society, not you. We should be compensated for both our time and value, not one or the other. They are two quite different trades, and house sitting is much different than house renovating. You did what was right work to the best of your ability. They did what was wrong allotted time compensation for said task and then failed to accurately compensate for the task. Time to find another job. I think since the previous occupant of that position did it in a lengthier period of time, you should have asked yourself questions or maybe approached him behind the scenes and talked to him. Because once you knew you could do it in 7 hours, you should wonder what he needed all those extra hours for, hence perhaps prompting you to talk to him. Still, I'm sorry this happened to you. World economy is crazy and I sincerely wish you didn't lose that much money lying on the table. Way back in my college days, I was hired by a professor to be a grader. It was presented to me as a 20-hour-week job, paying twice minimum wage, but I could easily grade all of the homework sets on a Saturday morning. The first week I turned in a 4-hour timesheet and was scolded for not putting enough time into it, with a big wink. His final words were, "Don't ruin the deal. Never start a new job and outwork people that have been there for years. All you'll do is piss everyone off and screw yourself over. Just match what everyone else is doing, maybe slightly more." Dude, you gotta hide it better than that. The guy in my job before me was there for 30 years. He didn't like or use computers, and there are some tasks that require me to look up lots of information. Like, out of these 2,000 employees, who complete the mandatory training and who didn't? He would go through their physical paperwork one by one and it would take weeks. I'm fluent in Excel and Access, so I do that job in minutes versus weeks. It gives me so much time to watch YouTube and Reddit. I developed a stupidly simple spreadsheet that saves anyone that uses it in my department a whole bunch of time just doing calculations. The day I did that, I coincidentally saw a life pro tip to not tell your boss when you develop a tool that makes work easier. Haven't said a word. My first job out of college was a contract to hire position with an estimated 3 months workload planned out. I finished the work in 3 weeks. They did keep me around for 6 months before they finally ran out of busy work for me. It's a lesson learned. Next job, make sure to manage expectations from the start. Never go above and beyond. All you get for that is more work. It was raised at a staff meeting, you've now got verifiable data to support the position that you deserve a raise. Talk to M. I absorbed a team of 7 people over the period of 6 months as each left due to fears over the business being sold. In total, my 40-hour work week only went up by about 3 hours. After I automated their jobs and some of mine, I was down to 20 hours a week. Management was so afraid that I was going to quit that they were throwing me bonus after bonus. I got a 50 salary bonus one year. I ended up starting my own IT outsourcing business and took over the outsourcing of all IT for this company. 20 years later, they are still a client. What you need to do now is demand higher pay or quit. Know your worth and don't ever be scared to demand, not ask, demand you be paid it. OP, this is where you ask for a raise and a better position in the company.